So, yeah, going into this, what do you feel like you were really messing up on, or that you feel like were your weaker areas that you're looking to improve on?
I feel like what I lack in is like I don't commit to certain things um where like let's say like if you did a jump out of a ledge like one time,
Uh huh.
I probably would assume that because you're a better player or a player that would mix up,
Mhm.
I would assume that you would do something different rather than doing it
Yeah, yeah,
again. So, and then you end up doing it again because you didn't get punished for it the previous time. So it's like, oh, I should have just tried to cover that option rather
yeah,
than
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, okay, I'm okay. You might do something different, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, this is definitely a common issue in that like mid-level player space. We were talking about it the other day, where it's like you assume something, where you assume your opponent's going to be better than they actually are. You're giving them more credit than they deserve in some cases. So
hmm
watching this, I'll try and look out for that and just point things out. I know you told me Lucina is one of those annoying characters to fight for you. So yeah, let's see what we can get out of it. I think Pokemon Stadium 2 is probably a fine stage to begin with. I don't, I obviously am gonna say certain things with a grain of salt when it's talking specifically about Bowser, as that's not my super, it's not
Yeah,
my
it's
form
not
of
your
expertise.
expertise. Yeah, yeah, I
But I'll
got you.
definitely try and give you the more general aspects of things and all that. So let's
All
go
right.
ahead. All right, have that start. All right. I feel like that. So right there, you just it's gonna be a little annoying to go back. Can I jump back 10 seconds? Is there a keybind for that? I have no idea.
Probably like arrow backwards, but
I
I think
tried
it goes
arrow
back 30 seconds.
backwards.
It's kind of weird.
Oh no, it goes 10. Um, okay. So like, I'll pay attention. So right here, you try and shield grab that neutral air, and it's like
hmm
it's a retreating neutral air. So that's something you got to be careful of. And keep in mind, like Lucina doesn't have like the safest moves in the game, but with a mix of the disjoint and then their own general aerials, a lot of the times those like landing retreating aerials can be pretty safe. So you want to watch out on that. And your shield grab is not very fast. Actually, I'm gonna give you an exact number for it, so I can give you a good idea. So like your grab it's frame 8 startup. So if you were to shield grab, you would have the 8 frames plus the additional 4 frames that comes with
Is
doing
that
it.
like 16 or some shit like
It would be 12 frames total.
12? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because whenever you shield grab, it adds an additional 4 frames onto it. So you have that, but alternatively, you could have jumped out of shield and side beat because you have 3 frames of jump squat and you have 6 frame side B. So that would have been frame 9. That would have been 3 frames faster. And it allowed you to move forward slightly, and that's why you'll see Bowser's kind of jump out of shield side B sometimes, as opposed to always shield grabbing. But
Okay.
yeah, something that you really want to try and pay attention to is when you're fighting a sword character like Lucina or something, that paying attention and um, not trying to punish those really well spaced areas where they have the range, because they'll oftentimes either whiff your attack, or you'll do something, or you'll commit at the wrong time and then they'll be able to get away.
Come in. Yes.
So right here, he hits you again, and then you go for an up B. I feel like you would have been able to go more forward with it and catch him, but I could be wrong on if Bowser's up B works that way. But I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure you could have.
like, it's kind of weird because, like, yes, Bowser's up B can move forward. That's if I commit going for it in the beginning.
You just didn't want
But,
to
like,
commit to it in the beginning.
yeah,
Okay.
yes. So this is one of those problems where I'm like, I'm not committing to this
Yeah,
and just throwing out a move and seeing, like, oh, what if this happens, this happens. If it doesn't, then I'm going to
and
get punished for
in the
it. And that's a
beginning,
bad mindset.
in the beginning of a set like this, where you're both at low percents, and you like, if you mess up, it's not the end of the world, right? That's
hmm
where you can be a bit more liberal with your risk taking, I suppose, and go, you know what? It's likely that he's going to want to retreat with his aerial or pull back because that's at its safest. He's not going to want to go behind me and be right next to me. So if I up B and I go towards him, it's more likely to want to catch where he's at, as opposed to if I just do it in place.
True.
So,
Very true.
and since the beginning part of the match, you're going to need to kind of feel out that information on your opponent and see how they do it. So I think being a bit more confident in your ability to land those more aggressive up Bs out of shielding, kind of put your positioning into it, so that you're not like, because the way it is right now, how you kind of just did it in place just to do it, you were like, oh, it hits him great. If not, oh well. It's kind of like a you want to punish him, but you're not actually putting everything
The
into it.
effort.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you're
yeah.
like, all right, yeah,
I
if I
got you.
punish him, that's cool, but like if not, oh well, and you don't want to do that because you want to, because if you punish him, then he's gonna be a little bit more likely to second guess himself or to think about how he's going to change up his approach. Because if he knows that you're ready to just up B every time he misspaces something, then you're just gonna, it's gonna make his life a bit harder.
Alright.
Right there. So I'll show you the next interaction. It's about to come up.
When I
So
dash back, try to go for side
yeah,
B.
so you definitely could have just like
Over
grabbed him
shoot.
there with side B because you did that empty hop right, and he's just holding shield. Yeah, like yeah, he might have been able to like be out of there if he was
Nair.
really quick or something, but the fact that he kind of just sat in shield the entirety of that jump means he's giving you a level of respect as well. He's like, okay, I don't want to challenge him at the wrong time. I don't want to overcommit. Bowser's a scary character by whiff. I have a lot of lag or something. And then you kind of do that empty hop, and then you run back and forth, and then you go for the grab. Whereas you could have used that empty hop to help
Just a
yourself.
tomahawk him. Yeah.
Okay, let's watch what happened there. So you get down tilted. He shield pokes with neutral air because your shield is getting low. Don't be afraid to just roll out of there sometimes. Like, yeah, you're gonna get hit if you roll sometimes, but maybe if you rolled behind him, he would have caught you with another aerial and will put you at a different spot. But he hits you off, and then he fares you again. And then here you probably should have early up bead. And it seemed like you were more focusing on just recovering and not paying
I
attention
felt
to
like
him.
right there, if you go back like just like maybe like a couple seconds, 5 or 2, or not 5, I think 5.
I'll just
When I try to go back like hold on, I'll tell you when to pause it. Or right here.
yeah.
I shouldn't have never done that in the first place because I try to come with an aggressive option,
Okay.
and even though that's like yeah, like it might work, but like the way I try to come back on stage and force my way back in rather than just say, hey, let me just reset to neutral and then see let's see like if I can get a ledge option and then try to go get stage control again.
In this interaction, so you've got your you jumped here, you're trying to recover. He's about to forward air you. What you could have done, as an alternative method to maybe just like following up with the forward air is you could have just jumped and then neutral air dodge past him because you're a faster character, or you've got a heavier fall speed, so you're gonna fall a bit quicker. Neutral air dodge past him, but you still keep drifting inwards, so you're going down and you're landing around here and potentially having him whiff. You could have directional air dodge, maybe gone over to the platform, but you went for that attack, and that doesn't mean that you can't jump there and try and recover. It's just that you need to utilize some of the other options at your disposal.
Okay.
But yeah, he's gonna forward air you here, and then you're gonna get knocked off, and then it seems like you weren't super like ready for him to just run off and down air you, which can happen sometimes. But there's another instance where like maybe you just need to air dodge in right after that, or go for an immediate up B or something to just stop him, because when he's close to that, when your opponent's close to you like that, you do need to shift your focus kind of onto them somewhat to see how they're reacting, because it's not like you're all the way out here in the magnifying glass and he can't reach you, right? He's in that danger zone still.
Mm-hmm.
He is really like a neutral air in this matchup. I think it's just that multi-hit that kind of catches at that perfect Bowser height that he's trying to catch you with.
Yeah. Oh my god, looking at this shit, I was looking stupid, bro. And then, yeah, and then probably like, oh wow, I don't know why he didn't commit. He could have just came down there.
Yeah, he probably thought you weren't going to make it back just on the positioning, so he didn't want to commit too late. But watching this whole stock so far, it seems like you're doing a lot of like movement in neutral. Oh, 1 second, I think I'm about to sneeze. Okay, no, I think we're good. But yeah, you're doing a lot of like movement in neutral, trying to get something started, but there's not much substance to it, right? Like you're moving and then you're getting hit, and then you're in disadvantage or something like that. But there's never like, and you'll occasionally go for like a tilt or an aerial or something like that. But you're not threatening him. Like Bowser's a fast character, so if you have that movement, there needs to be something there to do it. Maybe you're incorporating those short hop side Bs more to catch him shielding when you're near him. Maybe you're doing, running forward tilt to try and catch his jumps, or running up tilt. I think you went for an up tilt once and it whiffed to catch him. Maybe you're doing, that dash back and forth and you're trying to pivot grab or something, maybe his landing, or you run up and you shield and you let him hit you, but since you ran up to him and he didn't aerial, he wasn't able to retreat with it, so then you cannot be out of shield, right? So there's these different ways that you can go about utilizing that movement in the neutral game to that isn't just like empty movement that just leaves you open.
So basically, movement with a purpose.
Yeah,
If that
yeah.
makes
Like, and
okay.
I think when you're doing it here, it's not like you're doing it just for the sake of doing it. You're trying to articulate your thoughts and figure out what to do to get in, but
Mhm.
it's could be almost disconnected where you have to focus so much on that movement at the moment that you're not putting a lot of that thought process into what is my next action, how am I going to pressure, how am I going to get in, whatever it is. So you want to use that, you want to have that perfect balance where it's like you can split up the decision making where you're like, all right, I'm working on my movement, but then I'm also, you know, calculating or figuring out exactly how I'm gonna get it on him, or if
Yeah.
I'm gonna shield something, and that's a skill that you'll refine. The biggest thing is like working on that deliberate thought process for yourself and making sure that you're not just doing things for the sake of doing them. Um,
Okay.
and you're gonna get better at thinking about that. But I think yeah, just incorporating more options into your movement or making it harder for him to hit you at least. If you find him naring on top of your shield a lot and you're getting shield poked, you could also try tilting your shield up a little bit to reduce the chance of shield pokes. That's going to help a little bit more as well because he's shield poked you with it a couple times.
Mhm.
It's like, I want to go over this again. So you make it back to the stage, and then you're running back, you go for a jab, you're like, alright, I'll shield. And then you go for the grab because you thought he was going to fall in.
Mhm.
He whiffs, he whiffs. And then you guys are kind of playing this weird footsie game, and then you up tilt, shields it, and then I think what was it right after? Oh no, I guess not. I thought there was a good chance to get a side B in, but I might have been thinking of a different example. But you're kind of like going for these like I hit and then I pick a defensive option. I hit and then I shield. I hit and then I shield. And it's like if the hit doesn't work, then you're putting yourself back in the defensive position. And that is hard to do because Frosty or Lucina, they're going to be able to throw out a lot more buttons than you probably. Their
Yeah.
aerials are much quicker and all of that. So when you're whiffing, yeah, it sucks. But when you're retreating to shield like that, you're locking yourself down. So it's something that you want to do, of course. If you whiff, it's not a bad thing to shield if you think they're going to attack. But you
Yeah.
need to be able to go, okay, if I shield here, what's going to happen? Or if I don't shield, what are they going to be able to do to me? Maybe you missed that jab one. So then instead of shielding, you're going to run. You're going to run and maybe try and catch where they're going to land or outspace them or something like that. But when you're shielding, you're kind of closing off your current options to this one specific thing. It's like, yeah, if he attacks into that shield, you're probably going to have a good way to handle it. But if he does literally anything else, so you just locked yourself into it. Now you have to do a shield drop, or if you don't, then you got to jump out of shield. So there's all this stuff. So you don't want to instinctively like attack and then always shield if it doesn't work.
Okay.
Like that, there was plenty of instances where you could have just grabbed him, command
Yeah.
grabbed him even because your command grab's faster than your regular grab. Like you have this little scuffle of movement here, and he's not doing anything, but you're also not doing
Yeah.
anything. Like
But like,
that.
it's just like it's. It was just like I was assuming that he was gonna do something,
Yeah,
but he did it so like, oh, he's not doing anything either. Oh,
definitely.
I just might as well narrate you. So
Yeah,
it's like,
and
oh,
I know you were saying that it's like you're giving him so much respect and assuming he won't do these weird or dumb or whatever it may be options, but like in those game ones especially, right? Like where it is the best time to really learn how your opponent's going to play. You got to be like, okay, don't assume they're going to be a terrible player who's not going to do anything, but like, don't give
yeah,
them
yeah,
so
yeah,
much respect that you're just letting them get away with things. If they want to like when I'm fighting someone, right? A good example would be like, well, so Olimar, his down smash you can hit with both hits. It can break shield really easily, right? So
yeah,
a lot of the times when I'm fighting people, I like to almost like I like to check their knowledge, so to speak. I'm like, let's see if you know what I can do, right? So I'm fighting them, and against good players, I know that they're not going to shield that often. When I get near them, they're going to get out of there, right? But what I do when I
yeah,
fight players who maybe haven't fought me or I haven't fought before, things like that, I'm like, let's see if you know this. I'll run up and they'll shield instinctively, right? Because that sounds like a safe option, and I'm just like, I'll break your shield right now. And then I do it, and I get it on a lot of people, and it works on top players who you would think, oh, that's not gonna happen, but it's because they don't know, right? I'm
Yeah.
abusing their lack of information on that, and because of that, I can get an advantage there. It might not work again in the middle of the set, or later on down the road, but in that one instance, I was able to check if they were thinking about that option, or if they were aware of it, or if they were thinking a little too slow, and I can go, okay, no, all right, you're gonna get punished for it.
Ah, okay. Okay. That makes sense.
So that's something you can do against anyone you're playing, but especially in the game ones like that, where you just don't want to assume they already know all your tricks and they're already ready to get around everything. Because if that's the case,
Okay.
then you're probably just not going to beat them to begin with because they're so good they're just not going to lose.
Yeah.
That was another instance of. I want to go back and
I'll
show it.
be.
No, well you could have upbeat, but you went for a shield grab, um, and I think you could have. So like, you shield this here, and you go for a shield grab, but now he's crossing you up, right? You
Yeah.
potentially could have jumped out of shield and turn around side beat him. Up B would have been a fantastic option because he was approaching with that neutral air, right? That was a safe bet to where you're probably not going to risk missing it because you're gonna be he's already on top of you and you can kind of just catch him. The jump side B would have been an alternative to the shield grab. One, it's faster. Two, you have the ability to do it in either direction because you jump and then do it, so you can turn it around. But the shield grab there, like I would say, reduce the shield grabbing habit you have. Try to tone it down a little bit. Go for more at Bs. Go for side Bs out of shield. Things like that. Because that shield grab, it's frame 12. That's not good.
Alright.
So yeah, that's something else to keep in mind. And just evaluate too. Like I want to go back one more time and show you a good way to help evaluate how you can tell if your opponent's probably gonna approach or retreat with their aerial. So like right here, he starts running in. Like, at that spacing, there's nowhere to really retreat. And if he does retreat, it's probably not going to catch you.
Yeah.
So he's running in with this neutral air, and he's got to go all in. Because he's already started. He's committed to that aerial movement. So you can kind of pay attention to that and help, like, look at the stage positioning. His back was to the edge of the stage. So there wasn't really anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
So he's trying to brute force his way in there, and that's the case where you can go, like, okay, this is the current stage positioning. You can probably only do this. And like for Lucina, her aerials are. Let me look up how safe neutral air is because that's the one he's using a lot. I know like her up air is really safe, and I know there's a couple other moves, but I want to check neutral air to be specific. So yeah, back air is pretty safe. Up air is really safe. Neutral air is pretty safe as well. It's about as safe as up air, but when they're doing it like this, where they're approaching with it, right? They're rising. And so it's -4, -3, depending on the hit on shield. But that doesn't apply if they're in the air still. Because they don't get the landing lag because they're still in the air. So in this time, this isn't as safe as it normally would be as if he was retreating with it. Because when people retreat, they either space themselves so they have time to hit the ground, or they're already hitting the ground. But he's rising with this, so it makes it a lot less safe. So that's something to keep in mind as well, like paying attention to how your opponents are doing their aerials. Because if they're doing them wrong, they get a lot less safe.
Alright.
Up tilt, back air, yep. Jab ended up working there. I probably would have gone for a side B, but I think you were just looking to try and catch him with something, and you got the jab at least. Oh, another
Oh
shield
my
grab.
god.
That's good. That's good that
Oh.
you're seeing it, though. Because that's a habit that you're going to have to really hammer out, because it seems like something that's very instinctual for you. And Bowser's not a character who can be doing that, Maybe if you were Palutena, you had that nice, slick, long frame 6 grab, you could be a little bit more... You could be a little bit more aggressive with that, but with a frame 8, you ain't grabbing a lot of things. My gauge for if you should be shield grabbing a lot is like Olimar's up smash, it's -8 on shield, fresh. Bowser and Inkling, for example, both cannot shield grab a fresh purple up smash. Palutena can. So it's like, if you can't grab a fresh purple up smash, probably shouldn't be doing it. So yeah, you lose that, unfortunately. It was a lot of like you kind of just standing there not doing much, giving him more respect than he deserves, going for these really unsafe shield grabs, because they're just so slow on startup, not abusing your out of shield options more, and not being confident. You got to be confident in what you're doing. When you hit that button, you have to go, like act as if it's gonna work, and you got to do what you got. You got to do what you would need to do to make it work. You can't be like, all right, if I jab here, or no, not jab, not jab. If I forward air right here, it should hit him. But when reality, you need to move forward in forward air if you want to hit him.
Okay.
You can't expect your opponent to run into your hits.
We went to Battlefield, I believe. So.
Yeah, I think I remember watching this set live.
Oh. Oh fuck! I forgot.
Yeah, this game was a doozy. Doing those neutral airs like that. We're gonna go back. So you did this little thing, and you kind of had the right idea when you went for the flame breath, but it was delayed again. You weren't ready to act immediately when you had the opening, and I'll point it out. So like, you run, you roll, and then you kind of go over this movement. He whiffs. He whiffs. That's premier time. You want to grab him? Grab his ass now. Hit him with that regular grab, or hit him with that dash grab, then put him in the air with an up air or something like that. Hit him with a side B. Hit him with anything, but then you kind of just run into him again, and then you flame breath because you were too slow. You weren't ready for it. Good up, be out of shield there. There's that shield grab again. Sorry, you'll stop doing them though. Good side B on that. I like that. All right, good. I liked the intention there of the F tilt, but I think you were a bit slow because you weren't expecting him to like. I think you expected him to fall faster out of the FB.
I thought he was gonna connect on ledge and then frame him. Okay. Yeah, that's part of what I was thinking.
Yeah, he was at that spacing where he had to up B and then drift in.
Yeah.
But no, the F tilt was definitely a good idea there because that's so good for two framing. Yeah, it's definitely doing much better here. I feel like you're going for more side Bs, which is good. You're just a bit slow on some of these interactions where like you're not committing as fast as you could, and that might be you kind of having to visually react to what's happening, process it all, and then pick an option. And that's good to do. Obviously, you want to see things and be able to understand them, but ideally you get to a point where you can kind of go, okay, I am aware of the general scenario. I see what current options are available or something, and then you already have an idea of what's going to happen, and then you add in the interactions where you need to react to when something happens, and then you're ready to commit. But since you're already kind of like you already had an idea of what could happen, it kind of helps just like speed it up mentally, so you don't need to think about what to do.
Okay.
So it's like let's say you get you're in an interaction with someone, and you're like ready for them to whiff, right? Like you're approaching them, kind of how in the beginning, Frosty up tilted and whipped it, and then you were a little slow on the punish.
Yeah.
So that's an interaction where you can go, okay, Frosty's over here. I know that if he whiffs, I can punish him, So I'm going to prepare myself for the event that he does whiff, and if he does whiff, I'm going to do this option. You already know. So you're kind of waiting to see the cue. It's like, oh, he attacked. All right, I'm going in. And then you don't have to go, oh, he attacked. What do I do, right? You're already, like, you're almost just waiting for, like, the cue, for him to be like, all right, I whiffed. Now you get your punish. And that's going to help you speed up those interactions. And that's how a lot of players, the better players, do it. They'll kind of already have a general idea of what can happen in most scenarios. So that, like, when they do get that opening, it's like, it's go time, And that's why you see all these top players, when they get that one hit, it's like all they did was like whiff, an aerial the wrong way, and now next thing you know, the opponents took 70% because they're ready for that one opening. They're like, all right, I know what could probably happen here, and the moment you do it, I'm gonna already go because I already know what I want.
Okay. So wait, quick question. Okay, so the other day we were talking about a little bit how like mid-level players are lacking in Foresight and thinking them preemptively for the future.
Yeah.
So let's say that interaction that we were talking about, the up tilt that
Uh,
he whiffed.
okay.
So like before that even happened, if I said, "Oh, if he does something and he whiffs," this is just hypothetically speaking. Like let's say, "Oh, he whiffed. All right, I'm gonna grab him, up throw him, up air him, or fair,
Yeah.
depending where he BIs." Is that like some form of foresight? If that
Kind of.
ever
Yeah.
happens?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you're assuming that he's gonna whiff. Like you're banking on it. You're trying to bait it out or whatever. And then you're going, when he does whiff, I will then grab up throw forward air, whatever it is, right? Like
Mhm.
you're kind of ready for him to do it wrong, and you're trying to coerce him into a spot like that. But it's good
Okay.
that you have that game plan so that when he does whiff, you already know what to do. It's like,
Alright.
if um, what's a good example? Let's say, I'm fighting a Akashic Greninja, right?
Yeah.
And I'm fighting him, and I'm like, all right, he's getting ready to neutral air on top of my shield because that's his real good shield pressure tool. But what I'm going to do, it's like I've got a purple next in my line, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna run in and I'm going to parry his neutral air, and then I'm going to up smash him. So there's an interaction that's about to occur. I know what's going to occur based on the information present, what's been happening in the match, things like that, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going to read his option, or put my faith in my ability to identify the situation. I'm going for the neutral air. I'm going to be confident in my ability to play the way I want. So I'm going to parry. I'm going to drop my shield and parry it, and then I'm going to up smash him. And I know it's going to work because I know if I parry the neutral air the right way, like when it's right at the apex of my shield at the top of it, right? He's not at the ground yet, so he can't. He still has to deal with the lag. And then I'm
Yeah.
gonna up smash. My purple is going to survive his neutral air. It's got enough health, and then I'm gonna get my hit. So that's me evaluating the situation we're in, knowing what I want, and playing in a way that can get me there really quickly.
All right.
So it's like I'm going for this play, I'm confident in it, and I know it can happen if I do it right.
All right. Okay. Um,
Good side beyond that. That's another example of using that out of shield better than the shield grab in a lot of cases. You can still shield grab certain options that they're really unsafe, like a forward smash, but you just gotta be careful about it. Because a lot of the quicker aerials, you're just not gonna be able to shield grab. All right, we're gonna go back. So I wanna evaluate. So catches you there. You kind of just stood there.
mhm.
Um, but
Yeah.
it's going to be like, if that's one of the weaknesses that you were showing a lot in this set, is that like downtime. That's going to be something I'm going to point out frequently if I see it happening a lot. So that's just something to work on. Make sure you're not just like leaving yourself open to your opponent. Gets the trade forward till that's pretty good. There, you probably could have rose with an aerial to hit him. Um, just to try and like catch him, because you did the empty hop out of the
Yeah.
shield, or out of the roll, but he didn't do much, and then he just caught you with an up tilt because you were just above him for no reason. So you get
All
back
right.
aired here. You air dodge in. That air dodge was definitely risky. I don't know. Maybe you were trying to go to the platform or something, but there wasn't. I would say there's not too much reason to do it because you were already like at the ledge level. Like you would have been grabbing the ledge or maybe even drifting back onto stage. So you
Yeah.
didn't need to air dodge to really help you recover. That was kind of just maybe a panic option on your end.
Probably, most likely.
Yeah, you're just trying to get back to stage as fast as possible, but then I kind of just drifted back into Lucina's threatening range, and then managed to catch you with a down air, and then you whiff the side B, and then you get poked by side B, or you get poked by neutral B there, and then you roll, does neutral air again, because that's that good coverage option. The neutral get up there was good, and that's why it's such a good option, because you can use it to like almost time when the opponent's doing something. Um, so like they're committing, and then you do the neutral get up at that weird like downtime, like as their hit's going on to use the invincibility, but right after it's finishing, so it doesn't hit you, and then maybe get back in there.
Okay.
Um, there you got edge guarded. Unfortunately, that's Lucina's strong suit. Um, just being more careful. I wanna look at it again. So you do the neutral get up here, then you roll, and the roll's not bad itself, but you spot dodge. So you rolled and then you spot dodge, then you went for an attack. And I think the attack probably would have been fine had the spacing been a little bit better on it. Because what happened there is like it kind of pushed you in front of
Push.
Lucina. So then it
Yeah,
ended up whiffing.
yeah, it was just a weird interaction right there, Loki. Because like
Yeah.
it was just I thought he was gonna be in front of me, and then
Yeah.
I was gonna down tilt him and then
You
put him in a more weird
you
situation.
could have also tried maybe like out of the spot dodge if you wanted to attack, and you're unsure of where he's gonna be. Maybe do an option where he's both sides, so go for an up B.
Yeah.
Something that I like to do with Olimar is when I like neutral air on top of people, I can oftentimes follow up with different attacks. But if I'm unsure, my safest bet is that up tilt because it's an attack that hits on both sides, so I don't need to distinguish in the moment what's happening, or I don't have to go, okay, what side is he on? If I'm unsure, I can kind of pick that safer option. And in this case, had you spot dodged and gone for the up B, would have hit on both sides, would have been probably quicker. I'm pretty sure it's quicker than your down tilt, right? And it would have also
Most
allowed you
likely.
to move in towards the stage a bit more if you were unsure or something like that. It probably would have been a bit better off. Whereas, yes, had the down tilt worked, the way collision works in this game, it's super easy to just get pushed out on one side of someone and not be ready for it.
Hmm.
So if you're ever unsure, don't feel like you have to commit to that singular option.
Okay.
And you get, back aired on your jump, unfortunately. Good side B there, takes the stock. Like, that shield grab worked because he didn't do his job right. Like,
Okay.
if he misspaces or if he picks the wrong action after the up air or after the forward air, then yeah, you can shield grab. So that was a rare instance where it's gonna work. But that's something that you definitely need to be evaluating all the time and not a always fall back to shield grab.
Okay.
I like that. I like that. There you go. See, now you're being a bit more smart about
This is
using
when
your out of shield options.
this is when I started playing fucking correct.
Yeah, you're like, all right, see, I'm gonna do Bowser's job. You did a little footwork there. Mixed them up, and then you got him to commit, and then you picked an option, and you were confident in it, right? So see, and then he dropped shield there because he tried to do something, and that's exactly what you need to do. Like you got to be that confident, fast Bowser, where when you pick these options, you know exactly what to do. When you're playing a character like Bowser, who's not as straightforward or traditionally good, and that like they just press safe buttons on your shield all the time. That's where you got to know the limits of your character. You got to know how interactions are going to go so that you're never in a spot where you go, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay.
That was a little close. But yeah, he's just catching you there with the juggles. I mean, sometimes you're just combo food against certain characters, so you got to be careful about it. I like that up B there. That was a good use of that. Just catching him as he gets up. I see you went for it again, and that wasn't necessarily bad because you didn't know what he was gonna do. So you were kind of thinking, okay, let's see if he'll do it again, and he didn't. He jumped away. He had to learn action. He didn't get hit, thankfully. So that's something that you would make a mental note of for next time. It's like, okay, he jumped away this time, so now I need to be ready. Not necessarily that he'll jump again next time, just that he's
Yeah.
aware and he's ready to mix up his ledge options. All right, you got some big balls on that, dude. Well, I mean, you ain't really got nothing to lose, so I don't blame you. I like the side Bs. Just keep calling him out. That's good. If he wants to hold shield, you punish him for it.
This is when I really start stealing my side Bs and it wasn't confirmed.
Yeah.
The kill.
Yep. But I mean, at least you're getting hits. You're getting in his head. Yeah, you might not be killing, and it sucks, but it's better. I like that high recovery because that's probably the only way you were gonna live.
Oh my god.
I want to go back quick. So you hit him with that second F tilt. So like you do the one, I think it like barely hits, and then you go for another one,
Sick.
and like you could have probably just grabbed him here.
Mhm.
Side B, yeah, I know it's stale. It's probably not gonna kill. A regular grab might have worked because you're not shielding already, so you don't have that additional 4 frames, so it's not gonna be too slow. But going for that F tilt, probably not the best. I mean, you could have potentially even tried to like up B and just retreat with it. So hit him with the initial hit and just get out of there.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna break his shield or poke him, but you know, it is what it is. The down tilt was there to try and hit him. Yeah, you unfortunately missed it. That that was you reacting slowly.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you get hit here, and then you're both shielding because you're both
Yeah.
scared. You know,
Yo,
you're both like
look
killed
at
percent.
our percentages. I'm 160. I'm like a feather. Like at
Yeah.
this point.
So
Yeah.
he up B's, and that should have been like a okay. I'm just jumping up air, and you're dead.
Yeah.
And remember that, or not even if you don't up air him, right? Because like you went for it a little slow. His up B's not the laggiest move. You could have jumped side bead.
True. That's very true.
You
But
know.
I honestly thought he was gonna roll because
Okay.
of like a fear tactic.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like some
yeah,
people like when they're on a platform, they're like, oh shit, this motherfucker's under me.
yeah.
I'm gonna roll away or jump. So that's why I went over the other side. And
That's
it's
true.
like, oh okay, I'm just seeing the clever
And
cover this
it's
spot.
not the worst to do those options, you know, because you went for it. You just tried to poke him. It was a read, and that's fine.
Hmm.
Just you know, on that battlefield platform, that's something that Martha and Lucinas like to do is up B and then go for a shield or something. They think you'll try and punish them, so with that command grab, you do have a little bit more of a luxury. And like you're doing this movement here, and you're just
Yeah.
you kind of
Yikes.
just let it slip the way the movement was working. It's like you go for it, and then you're doing this, and then you know you could have when you ran at him there, that was an instance where you could have gone, all right, he's in shield, he's scared, he knows I have the grab. Maybe I'll try and read a jump out of him, right? And then
Up aired probably.
you jump forward air him or jump up
Or
air him, right?
yeah.
Like when I'm playing Olimar, when I'm pressuring people, like you know I'm approaching like purple side Bs and things like that, and I'm pressuring them at the ledge, I'll knock them, and then I'll immediately like double jump or you know full hop or whatever up there and raw bear them because I know they're gonna jump because that's their escape option. You
Hmm.
know I'm understanding how they like to react and respond to the pressure I put on them, and I'm you know punishing them because I know that it's like you want to pick the traditional option to jump away, I'm already here.
Okay.
So it's a read, but it's like an educated guess almost. Like you're understanding why they would choose that option, and you're trying to get there before them.
Alright. So like I could have done like a preemptively like fair
Like you
or
run
up
at
air.
him, and then you jump
Yeah.
fair. Because
Okay.
like you run at him to threaten your space, he can't react in time, so he's already getting ready to jump. He jumps, you kill him. But
Also.
yeah, that was. I mean, you were definitely picking it up a lot more at the end. Biggest thing, just watch the shield grabs, really get those out of shield option game down, like the up Bs, the side Bs.
Mhm.
Um, work on minimizing that like dead space in your movement or that downtime where you're not doing anything, or even the times where you're just standing there. You know, make sure there's purpose and you're able to evaluate the game state all the time. I know sometimes you either get caught in your own train of thought and you're trying to think about what to happen, but you know it's a fighting game, so if you're doing that, you're burning those precious seconds or whatever that someone can come in and punish you.
Yeah.
Um, be confident in what you're doing. You know, invest in when you're attacking. You can't pull punches and expect to win. So when you attack, you gotta be ready to go for it. And then just really like keep working on um, understanding how your opponent's going to respond to your information on that stuff, so you can try and get those reads when you do need them in it, and understand what their available options are at any given moment.
Oh, okay. Uh,
So did you want to have me do that other VOD, or did you want to play some games, or what did you want to do?
I do have another VOD, but I did win this set. But like,
If you,
there
I'll
is
look at it if you want me to.
okay. I'll just give it to you.
All right.
It's been a while though. And then uh,
All right.
another thing is that okay. Hold on. Another thing.
All right. So because this is a an older set, like you're still probably gonna have some of the issues that we went over today or things like that. So there's gonna probably be some overlap.
Yeah.
Um, but I will definitely let you know the best of my ability what I can.
Okay.
So fighting Roy. Roy. Alright. So Roy's a bit of a weirder character compared to like Lucina because um he actually pressures you a lot heavier than Lucina. He's faster, he gets to the ground quicker, he's got some
Yep.
crazy confirms with his jab. So he's a lot more high pressure in that regard. So you got to be quicker on your options because you have less time to really be messing around, and also know what's safe and what's not. Because he's got really good aerials for pressuring you, but if he's like doing the wrong move or if he's staling it or some other nonsense like that, and you know that you can be out of there, you gotta be really quick with it,
Okay.
like that. Oh man, he's moving on this man, dude. Against Frosty, you're like molasses.
I feel like because like every time I fight Frosty, and it's such a fucking weird thing. It's just like I feel like he's not in my head in the sense that like Goku would be in my head. He's the person I can get in someone's head.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like every time like I don't know if it's like a Lucina thing, but like I feel like I can never get in. Like I feel like I just don't have enough space to punish him. But like someone like Roy with a smaller tip of a sword, he feels like more of a brawler to me than like
Okay.
than a sword character.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
that makes sense.
he's more like just happens to be like Mario with the sword or something like that, where he's in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
face.
yeah,
Okay, that makes
yeah.
sense. And
Okay.
that those certain character like mental blocks can definitely hinder your performance, but it's one of the things where you just gotta really work past it, identify what the character's strengths and weaknesses are, and just like work on
Hmm.
understanding how to beat them. So he right here's an example of him. He does neutral air. You go to side B it, but you dropped shield and you side beat. So you had to go through the 11 frames of shield drop, and
Yeah.
then your 6 frames of side B. You could have potentially jump side beat or up beat. Up beat probably would have been better, because it would have been
Very
faster.
true.
But
Hmm.
yeah, he spot dodged just like those Roy aerials are careful or are safe, so you need to be careful about what you're punishing. And oftentimes, your fastest option is going to be your best one, i.e., up B. But if you do want a side B, definitely do not drop shield because you're
I
adding
thought
on so much extra
maybe I
time.
maybe I was thinking that he might have shield because like I
Oh,
was
okay.
kind of getting away with uppy,
Okay.
but spot dodge was a good option for him. But like I feel like it was just one of those things. It's like I overthink shit, and then that's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But just to say,
Doing pretty good here. Just mainly trying to keep him in disadvantage, which is fine. Getting those light hits. You don't need to. If you don't kill someone early, that's all right. Like the biggest thing is just to not try and force anything.
hmm.
Now he's got you in disadvantage. I like the weight on the ledge. Definitely do not want to get up into that one of those attacks. That was pretty good there. You could have side beat him. Um,
Or for it to
yeah,
work
yeah.
the,
Well,
the job.
I don't know if forward tilt would have been fast enough with the parry
It's 10 frames,
because
so
he jabbed. But it could have, yeah, it could have worked as well. But the reason I said side beat is because it would have guaranteed to beat shield.
true, very
But
true.
yeah, just the up B's not a bad option. You got to hit, and that's the important thing. Just like in the
Hmm.
event that you do want to learn to like really push the limits of like how safe certain things are on parry and optimize your punishes, that's something to keep in mind.
Okay.
It's a shield poke. So there, so you knock him off, and he gets up and then he shields. You try to read it with a fair. Um,
Hmm.
that's not bad. Like you went for a read. There's nothing wrong with those. Oh, one sec. Um, you could also just like sometimes if you want to give yourself time to react, you could like sit where stand like right here, hold shield, and then kind of react. If he regular gets up, you do a standing grab. You forward throw, kill him. If he goes
Yeah.
behind, you do a jump side B. If he jumps, you can try and react to his landing, things like that. So that's something that you could use against certain characters. Like Roy, for instance, doesn't have like super good shield pressure at the ledge because he's a fast faller and all that. It doesn't have a shield breaker, so you can try implementing that as well. Also, I apologize if I sound weird. I am super congested today.
You're fine.
And a lot of that movement that we were talking about in that last over, you're kind of just like running around,
Yeah.
and you're not totally sure how to commit. Oh, I like that. I like that. The up tilt, read the air dodge.
Ah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful when like Roy's him and Crom, their jab slash F tilt's super good at ledge guarding because one, you got a big body, and two, it just reaches out there. So you need to be careful about when you're going low and things like that, and how to really like make sure you're snapping the ledge to the best you can. Good up B. Like, and it's fine if it's getting stale. Like the biggest thing is you're not letting them get away with those hits on your shield. I noticed you don't use flame breath a lot at the ledge. Is that like just a preference, or is it not a
It's.
super good option for Bowser?
I mean, it's only good in my opinion when if I know someone's gonna do neutral get up or attack get up, and
Well,
if I
I'm
have it,
saying
it
not even on the
represses.
ledge, but more like when they're coming to the ledge. Like when he's up
I
being
only do that.
like.
I only do that. I only do that to certain characters.
Okay,
I got you.
okay.
I got you. I got you. I got
I
you.
wasn't sure
Like
how
I only.
useful it was against like Roy
Okay.
and Lucina.
Yeah, I only do that to certain characters that I know, like if they upbeat, I'm not gonna get hit for it.
Okay,
Just
that's
get
fair.
hit out of it, or I could just gimp a recovery, and
Yeah.
that's it. But like, I don't solely try to rely on something like that
Okay.
for every match.
Good up B. I like that. See, now you're getting in his head. Now you're using your own movement, in a good way to where you're kind of like weaving in and out, getting your hits, getting your side Bs, and it's just like a rinse and repeat process till you find one of those bigger hits on him. I notice you don't seem to use a lot of aerials in general. Like I know some Bowsers I've played and seen like use a lot of like neutral air into stuff.
Oh, neutral air to fair, neutral air to back air,
Yeah,
or
things like
back air
that.
to neutral
That's
air.
just
Yeah.
and it could just be the opponents you're fighting, but that's something I
Mhm.
haven't noticed a ton either. But that's not, I mean, if you're getting the win, that's fine. It's just always looking for ways to really like optimize your gameplay and make sure you're doing it better.
I think I lost this game actually.
The timestamp would probably say so, unless it was like a 6-minute game.
Yeah, I definitely lost this one.
This is a good stage for Roy because of what he just did actually. So that platform is so centralized that it not only lets him approach from the sides with a lot more safety because he can just immediately retreat up to this if things get hairy, but he can also just he has a big platform to just drop down and fall on you with up air, which is super safe if done right. Starts combos,
Oh
and they
shit!
constantly retreat to that to the point where it becomes a crucial part of their game plan in the matchup for most Roys. Oh no. Oh
Oh my
no.
god! I think I went to go jump side B, and then I
Yeah.
got
You
cut.
realize yeah.
I was
Cuz you would have
like,
been fine if you just
what?
held up when you upbeat, but since you went to the side, you ended up killing
Yeah.
yourself.
Wow. I forgot about this. Oh, that's so deep.
Roy combos. Yeah, I mean everyone gets some of those. Um Biggest thing is just trying to like minimize the recovery and say how you can land without it costing you that. So let's start this up. See, dash attacks. You fall with a back air, definitely not the best move. I mean, like Bowser's aerials, like we said earlier, they're not fast.
Yeah.
So if you want to follow something, just do like side B. It's gonna auto cancel at worst. Where that back air's got lag and you're getting punished. So you just be careful about that and really try and like work on evaluating your height to the ground if you're gonna throw out these aerials so that you're not getting caught for no reason.
Yeah.
Air dodge in. You were fine, but you went for a poor up B and then he F smashes you after a little scuffle. So you gotta be careful about that. No, he's F smash crazy. But you see how he's constantly using that platform to assist
Yeah.
him and to make it harder to punish him. Fall with a neutral air again. Gotta watch those aerials. You don't want to keep falling with them. I like that a lot. That was good. Caught him holding shield. Slipping. You're getting a little side B happy, and I think it's because you keep landing him every now and then.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get like too into a habit of that, because like yeah, you're getting them, but I mean every time you're landing one, he's more likely to not get hit by it. Oh, that was unfortunate. Parried the first hit, up B get hit by the second one. Yeah, this is Roy.
Yeah. He got me.
Um,
Yeah.
so you get here. He reverse nairs you. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Hits the forward air, and then you jump and you go for the air dodge, which I don't blame you. But he's able to catch you. You go for another air dodge. Like he caught you on that jump, and when he caught you there, that was really bad. Because then now you're in a much worse spot to recover. You could have maybe not done the first air dodge, and then just like tried to drift in normally.
Yeah.
But I mean, you were in a really tough spot here, and it was. I think as long as he was doing his job right, you were probably not going to win like the interaction.
Yeah. Mhm.
Town and City. I know you are a fan of this stage. All right, alrighty. So on Town and City, you're like right there. You saw he was using that platform in a similar way to Smashville. That's one of the things where
Yes.
you just want to like play in a way to where he's not getting that all the time, and just like use different positioning to make it harder for him.
Wow.
Yeah, he's punishing your unsafe stuff on shield, like you're doing the neutral air on shield and stuff, and that's not. You know, you gotta be careful what you're falling on top of him with, because Roy doesn't have the best out of shield game, but I mean, it's good enough in some cases, depending on what you do. Good thought, just poor evaluation of the spacing between you guys. You know, you thought you were gonna be able to catch him. Well, that was really good. I noticed you don't go off stage a lot to edge guard, like with forward air or anything like that.
Yeah, I've been working on that lately.
Okay.
Goku been
Yeah,
fucking
it's
crazy.
definitely a good thing to do. That forward air is so big. Um, so you got down aired. You down aired? I think that was a bit optimistic.
Mhm.
Gotta watch the recoveries. You're recovering in a way that's just not letting you. Like you need to go. Oh my bad. Instead of like, I'll pause and show you. Instead of coming at like this angle, you need to go like
It should.
this angle because you're going like up and in, but that's bad because then you're like this level and that's where he can catch you with stuff. But if you go down below, it's much more difficult for him to stop you.
Okay.
Ooh, unfortunate miss. say like right now, what he's doing, what Charlie's doing a lot of is like letting you kind of press your button because he knows you're pressing a lot of them, and then he's using Roy's speed to get in and out. So when you're in that like mode where you're pressing a lot of buttons, you gotta stop, take a breather, and go, okay, I need to chill because he's just whiff punishing me over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like you were getting a little up B happy, a little side B happy, and those aren't necessarily bad things you've done right. It's just understanding that like you just can't be doing them all. You can't do it every time someone touches you, right? Like right there, he had invincibility, so you should not have done it.
Yeah.
And then he got you, but yeah.
Oh
Gotta watch the
shit!
down airs.
Oh my god! Why did I not die? Oh yeah! Oh shit! That was the smartest shit I did.
He shouldn't have let that happen. I guess he just didn't control side B.
No, I think he got a lot less control. Wait, no, actually, no, he had
No,
more
he
control. Actually.
he
Yeah,
should have had
actually,
more
I'm dying.
control, but he
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
input it late or wasn't ready for it, so he just died. Good fire, bro. Get that damage. Yeah, it's fine. The way you're playing neutral right now, just taking it slow, not rushing in, letting him do his thing. Cause now he's losing. So now he's more likely to be the. Oh, that was really. Oh my god.
Oh my.
That was pretty clean. I I've never seen that day in my life, but that was pretty good.
Wait, you've never seen Leon? Wait, you never seen that clip of Leon doing that to I forgot he did it to, but
No,
he did it to someone.
I had not seen
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's actually it only leaves you into a 50-50 option, and plus you have to react on it.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, it's not true, but it's like
Yeah.
situational.
Well, that was pretty good on your end, and like how after you got that stock, that was kind of like one of those good moments where I was like, the what is it?
The tempo?
Yeah, you shifted the tempo into your court because now he's like frazzled or annoyed that you just took his stock at like 0 when he was bodying you. So now it's like you're like, all right, and now he's gonna probably want to get it back in his favor, right? So he might be more aggressive, and then he's overcommitting, and then you're like, all right, I caught you on fire breath, now you take 20-something%. Oh, you misspaced the fair, now I'm gonna up B you, and it just like snowballs, right? And that's that kind of like gameplay that Yomi, so to speak, or whatever, where you can kind of capitalize off that and help yourself, take hold of it and punish him for trying to force things back into his court.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was pretty good as well. Just like you were a lot more decisive with your RBs and stuff in your out of shield games, which I thought was pretty good. Just like working on those recoveries so you're not always going into those bad angles. Making sure you're not getting like too up, be happy and stuff. Watching the down airs and stuff, especially on a character with like a counter where if he does it right, you're gonna take big damage instead of him just like shielding it. So just being careful on that. But honestly, both those videos worked out pretty well for time. Did you have any like closing questions or thoughts that you wanted to talk about?
My main question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you practice on foresight? Like, what could I do to like practice on foresight? Is it just me guessing, or not guessing, but like guessing what could happen in
when you're playing, you need to like try and understand where the game is going to be going or what you can do based on the information present. Like if you jab someone, have a good idea of what they can do out of the jab or what they're going to do out of the jab or what you think they're going to do, right? Like if I how's good? All right. So I'll try and explain it how I would if I was playing Olimar, right? So
Okay.
I'm playing Olimar and I have my lineup is like blue, white, purple.
Okay.
So I grab you. I run dash grab, I have a blue. And I know that when I down throw, well, I say I know, but like I can't 100% know. But I have a good like idea that when I down throw you, you're going to try and mash air dodge fast.
Okay.
Because you want to reduce the chance of getting forward aired. So what I do is I know you can't air dodge my attack.
Right.
Or you're at the least you're probably not going to be mashing the A button, right?
Yeah.
So what I do is I down throw, but then I have a white next, and I don't want to attack you with that white. No, I want to latch that white onto you. So since I know you're probably not going to attack me, I'll down throw, I'll white side B, and then I'll purple forward air. And I'll punish you for either air dodging or not mashing A or whatever it is. And then I can restart my combo. But that's an instance of like me having a good idea of what you're going to do based on how my understanding of how you respond to my character.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where you just, whenever you're playing from now on, you just need to like think about every action you're doing, how your opponent can respond to it, what, where they are at any given moment, so you can go,
All
okay,
right.
I'm pressuring you now. You're probably gonna jump out of shield because you don't want to get grabbed, things like that, and just like work on that thought process for yourself and making sure that everything you're doing is like well thought out and you understand how it's working and all that.
Mhm. Okay. That makes sense.
Uh huh.
Thank you.
No problem.
Oh,
Yeah. If you ever have any like other questions, you can feel free to ask me and stuff in person or anything like that. But
okay.
I'll get you this stuff soon, like we talked about, and I'll try to put in a lot of what we talked about, so you can just reference it back quickly and all that.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
yeah, man, hope it helped, and I will talk to you later.
Yeah, man. Later, dude. Thank you.
Uh huh.